Hey, it's Jessica Olie here, and I'm going to bring you a 30-minute Let's Start Yoga flow for beginners. So no matter where you are in your practice, just roll out your mat and we're going to flow together for 30 minutes. Make sure that you guys subscribe to Aloe Yoga's YouTube channel. There is so much more exciting content to come, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. So before we begin the class, I want you guys to take a second, lie down on your back in any position that's comfortable for you, and just zone into your breath for a few minutes. So go ahead and lie down. You can close your eyes if you want to. And we're just going to start to breathe. So on your inhale, you're going to let that inhale go through to your fingertips, through to your toes, and you're going to let it fill you with energy. As you exhale, you're going to let go of any fear, any doubt, anything that isn't serving you today. This is your chance to give back to your body on your mat today and to have fun with your practice. Just take one more big inhale and a nice long exhale. Slowly start to open your eyes and come into a seated position when you can. And we're going to gently just warm into the wrists. So you're going to grab your right hand. Your left hand is going to come onto the wrist. You're going to make a fist, and you're going to start to draw circles. It's okay if anything clicks. Good. We're going to make sure we do that to the other side. Awesome. When you're ready, come onto your hands and knees, and we're going to warm into the wrists a little more. So in yoga, wrists are the things that take some of the most strain. So we're going to go ahead and place your hands out in front of you, shoulders in line with the wrists, knees in line with the hips. And you're going to gently rock forwards. Inhale. And exhale back. One more inhale. And exhale back. So fingertips are going to come towards the thighs. You're going to inhale and exhale, lean back. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. Bring your hands back into a neutral position, and you're going to feed one hand, so palm facing towards the sky. We're just doing one at a time. This is a little tricky on the wrist. So you can play around here, explore different parts of the stretch, and rotate through the elbow and the shoulder. And we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So whatever we do to one side of the body, we're going to make sure that we do to the other side of the body. Again, yoga is all about balance. So you're going to come all the way up. You're going to inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And exhale, clasp your hands behind your back, lift through the chest. Inhale, you're going to come back onto your hands and knees. We're going to work our way through cat and cow. Cat and cow is one of my favorite ways to start off my practice, and since we only have about 30 minutes, we're going to work our way in some of my favorite mini flows to create heat throughout the body. So again, making sure that your alignment is here, shoulders and wrists in line, knees and the hips in line. We're going to inhale, lifting through the chest. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale back into a neutral position. Just stretch out your hands a little bit further in front of you. We're going to make our way into our first downward dog of the day. So you're going to tuck your toes under, push your hamstrings to the back of the room. You can start to pedal out the feet. So in downward dog, we're making sure that the shoulders are pulled away from the ears. Your armpits are facing towards each other, and your hips are coming towards the ceiling as much as you can. So in any posture, we're striving for length and creating space in the body, whether it's a back bend, a forward fold, a downward dog, or upward dog. We're always trying to create space. Keep pedaling out the feet just a little longer. Good. So in downward dog, the goal is not to have heels planted flat on the mat. The goal is to feel the stretch, so don't really worry too much about what you look like. As long as you're safe in the posture, it doesn't matter what you look like in it. So one thing I want you to pay attention to whenever your hands are in contact with the mat is using your fingers to take the pressure off of the wrists. So as we shift our weight forwards on an inhale into our upward dog, you're going to squeeze the fingers into the mat and come all the way forwards. Inhale into your upward dog. Exhale, push back into your downward dog. So I'm giving you the breathing cues. Whenever I'm not telling you to breathe, I just want you to maintain a neutral breath. So just making sure that every inhale and exhale is equal. And we're going to go ahead and inhale into the upward dog again. So shoulders back and down, lifting through the chest. Notice that my thighs are off of the mat, and this is the difference between cobra and upward dog. Keeping the spine neutral, so head in line with the spine. My fingers are gripping nicely into the mat. And I'm going to exhale into the downward dog. So now that you have the alignment cues, I just want you to apply that in the rest of the practice. And we're going to go ahead and flow through these just using the breath. So let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do 1 more. Inhale. Hold your upward dog. Exhale, drop the thighs, so we're going to come into cobra. Slight little bend in the elbows. We're going to melt our chest all the way down to the mat. Exhale. You can come up onto your fingertips. We're going to go ahead and go into my favorite, which is cobra rolls. So as you inhale, your head is going to be the last thing that comes up. And the last thing that comes down as you exhale. Inhale. Look over your right shoulder. Exhale, melt the chest. Inhale. Look over your left. 1 more neutral. Inhale. And exhale. Just have fun with it. So hands flat. We're going to come into our upward dog again. Inhale. And exhale, downward dog. Good. So we're going to slowly tiptoe the feet to our forward fold. So as you do that, I want you to move as slow as you can, shifting the weight into the hands, almost like you're prepping for a handstand. So you're going to come forwards, tiptoeing, lifting the foot as high as you can, maintaining your breath. Slow and steady wins the race. Good. Try and keep the pace with me. If you're struggling to keep those legs straight, bend them. So our first forward fold of the day, I want you to really focus on the connection between the upper body and the thighs. Okay, so your torso and your thighs, they're going to become best friends. And I don't want them to leave each other. So if you need to bend your knees to keep that contact, please do that. This is your first forward fold of the day, so nothing too strenuous, just easing into the body. So we're going to inhale, play with halfway lift. And exhale, fold. As you start to feel more open, inhale. Exhale, you can straighten the legs a little bit more. Let's do 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Holding your forward fold, you can start to pedal out the feet just like we did in our downward dog. Trying to maintain that connection as much as we can. Striving for that length. Good. Just 1 more on each side. And we're going to inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. So we're going to work our way into our sun salutations. And these are really important, and they sort of give me an indicator of how my body's feeling. So where am I tight? Where do I feel strong? What maybe needs some work? And that's what I want you to focus on in these next few rounds of our sun salutations, is really tuning into the body and giving it what it needs. So you're going to go ahead and bring your big toes towards each other. They don't have to touch. And you're going to start to activate through the core. What that really means is activating through the core so that your core is protected. So essentially, not arching through the spine, okay? So you're going to tuck everything in and lengthen it. Right now, you should be able to feel your core working and helping you. So I want you to engage and feel your muscles working on every posture, whether it's a downward dog, a forward fold, an upward dog, cobra, whatever it is, your body should always be working towards the posture. So let's inhale all the way up and exhale, fold. Remember that connection between the upper body and the lower body? Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step or hop back into a plank. I'm going to go ahead and step back for the first round. Let's exhale, chaturanga. You can bring your knees down if you need to. Inhale all the way up, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Good. So let's take a second to tune into the breath again. The breath is the first thing that goes in any posture, especially when we're concentrating. So before you do any pose, so just check in with the breath and use the breath to help you in the posture to create space and length. So let's do 2 more breaths here. Every exhale is an opportunity to get deeper into a posture. On the inhale, you're going to lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop your feet forwards into your forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. We're just going to go ahead and do 1 more of those, and we're going to go a little bit quicker this time since you know what you're doing now. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hop back. Exhale. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, push back into downward dog. Reset. So if ever you feel like you're not aligned properly in the posture, move and adjust. Always adjusting. Let's inhale, bend the knees, look forwards, hop into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Just step into a plank now. Inhale. Awesome. We're going to work our way from plank into lizard. So you're going to bring the right leg forwards. Inhale. On the outside of the hand. So if you're having trouble bringing that front leg forwards, bring that knee down, step into almost a lunge, and then place your hands. So in lizard, you're creating length throughout the spine, so try not to round away from the floor, rather gravitating towards the mat and lifting through the chest. This is going to give you a nice little stretch throughout the hip flexors, and you can bend the knees if you want. And just breathe. Good. Tuck that back foot underneath. We're going to push back, exhale into downward dog. Let's inhale into a plank. Let's do the other side. So left leg comes forwards. Lift through the chest. You can start to move around. You can bring that knee down if you did on the other side. Keep lengthening through the spine. So notice how when I'm doing this stretch, my hip is gravitating towards the mat. What most people do when the stretch is intense is that they run away from it, okay? So what I want you to think about is really engaging the muscles and exhaling to create that space and lifting through the chest. Good, tuck the back toes under. We're gonna push back, exhale into downward dog. Let's do this a little quicker now. So plank, lizard. Get into the full posture and we're gonna switch back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, settle into the posture. Push back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Good, this is the last one, don't worry. And push back into downward dog. Slowly walk your feet forwards, inhaling, exhaling when you need to. And we're gonna go into our yogi squat. So yogi squat, I like to have my feet about as wide as the mat, but it just depends on how tall you are and how long your legs are. So you're gonna settle into the posture. If your heels are off the mat, you can place a towel underneath your heels. But if you're here with me, just lift your chest. Use your elbows to push against the knees. Try not to round away from the pose again, really lifting through the chest. You can rock from right to left. This is a great one if you sit in the car a lot or if you're at a desk. Good, just breathing here. And we're gonna come all the way down into a seated position, however you find comfortable. And we're gonna go ahead and work our way into plow pose. So plow pose, you're gonna come all the way down onto your back, into a nice comfortable position. If you've never done this pose before, take your hands, place them on your butt. You're gonna lift your hips, straighten the legs out as much as you can, and you're gonna slowly shift your weight using your hands to move your hips a little higher. So maybe you're here, and maybe you're here, okay? Just breathing into the posture wherever you are, and keeping your neck nice and neutral. This one is definitely a challenging one to do first time in the morning, so be gentle with the body. Good, slowly come out of it when you're ready. Slow and controlled. And you're gonna keep the legs lifted. So keep your lower back pushing into the bottom of the mat. You're gonna open the legs about hip distance or a little wider, and you're gonna feed your hands through the inside and wrap your hand to the outside of the feet, flexing the feet. So we're gonna work our way into happy baby. Most people will have their lower back off the mat, but I want you to really think about keeping your body in contact with the floor, okay? So gripping nice and tight, you're gonna push your feet down so that your knees are going towards the mat, and you're just gonna breathe. Let's just do one more breath here. And exhale. Good, slowly bring your knees into the center. Just give yourself a hug. We're just rocking backwards and forwards a few times. We're gonna make our way back into plow pose. So we're gonna place your hands on your back. Bring the legs over, exhale, and you're gonna inhale, come forwards, and kiss your knees into a forward fold. So let's go back over into plow. Inhale up, exhale, fold. We're gonna inhale, exhale, legs come over. And roll all the way back down into a neutral position. You're gonna extend, and the right leg is gonna come over to the left side into a nice little twist. So you're gonna look the opposite direction that your leg is going in. So your leg is going to the left side, so you'll be looking towards the right. And bring that knee up. Left leg meets the right leg, and you're gonna extend the right leg down. Left leg comes over into the twist again. So you want to try and make sure that your left shoulder is still kissing the mat. There's a temptation to lift it just to get the stretch or the knee down to the floor. And release. Good. We're slowly going to rock all the way up into a seated position. And we're going to work our way into cow face pose. So the left leg is going to come underneath, and the knee is going to stay in line with the hip. The right leg is going to come up and over, so you're going to make like a sandwich with your legs. Lift through the chest, create that length, and if you want, you can exhale, bring your right arm onto the mat in front. So some of you might be a little bit up here. I know I was when I started. And as long as you're feeling a stretch on the outside of the thigh, it doesn't really matter. Just making sure that there's never any pain throughout the knee joint. Good. So we're going to play with a fun little transition. And it's a little bit of coordination, but bear with me as we try this. So you're going to move to your left side. So you're going to come up. And you're going to come all the way back, so you're facing the back of your mat now, and you're going to go all the way over to the right side, and you're going to sit back down into cow face on the other side. So just lifting through the chest, breathing. Don't worry if you didn't quite get that one. Just play with it. And bring your left arm to the outside if you did on the other side. Good. And release. So you're going to bring your hands forwards, untuck your feet however you can, push back, exhale into your downward dog. Awesome. You're going to extend the right leg, inhale into three-legged downward dog. So some people are really picky about keeping the hips squared off, and I kind of want you to explore it. So if you want to open the hip, bend into that leg, create a nice little twist, you can. If you want to keep everything stacked on top of each other, you can do that too. Whatever feels good for you. Good. So you're going to bring that right leg forwards into pigeon. In pigeon, you can do it a few different ways, and that's the beauty of yoga, is that there's no really right or wrong. There's just safe and unsafe. Okay? So keeping the knee in line with the hip, you're going to lift through the chest and sit as low as you can. So if you feel like you're all the way up here, tuck your back foot under and really push that hip as far to the floor, as close to the floor as you can, and just settle into the pose. If this isn't enough for you, just go ahead, walk down with me onto your forearms. Just keeping everything tracking in one direction is really important, so you don't want to roll off the stretch. Okay? Good. Let's push back into downward dog. Exhale. Inhale, left leg comes up. So whatever you did on one side, do it on the other side. I always get a nice little hip crack. Good. And bring it through into pigeon. I'm sure you guys have realized by now that one side always feels better than the other. That's completely normal. So again, knee in line with the hip, lifting through the chest, making sure you're not rolling off of the stretch. Exhale, walk your hands forward if you did last time, and just breathe into the pose. Good. Push back into your downward dog. We're going to get a little deeper into it now. Right leg comes forwards into pigeon. So if this is accessible to you, you're going to lift that back leg up. So lifting the left leg up and grabbing on the inside of the foot. Just breathing. So you should be feeling a nice stretch throughout the hip flexor. And as you start to lift the chest more, you're just going to intensify that stretch throughout the hips. So leaning back. Good. If you want to go ahead and get a little fancy, you can bring that foot into the elbow crease and take a little mermaid bind. Making sure you're not rolling off the pose again. And just release. Come back down. Breathe. So pigeon's actually one of the poses that I practice every single day. It's one that I always come back to. And you can literally do it anywhere. And push back into downward dog. Let's do the other side. So left leg into pigeon. Just settle into it. Adjust whatever you need to. And you're going to bring that back leg up. Place it into the elbow. And bring that hand over. Good. When you're ready, just release. And exhale, come all the way down. Good. Push back into downward dog. Awesome. Shift your weight into a plank. So push back into downward dog, exhale. Inhale into a plank. Exhale, all the way down. Hands come out to the sides. You're going to lift your right leg up and over to the left side of the body into a nice little stretch that we call scorpion stretch. Well, I call it scorpion stretch. Good. And release. Let's lift that left leg up. Bring it over the body to the opposite side. And release. Good. Bring your hands just below your shoulders, and you're going to push back into a child's pose. So knees come on the outside, feet together. Push your hips back, and just relax. One more inhale and exhale. Let's inhale, slide forwards into an upward dog. And exhale, push back into a downward dog. Walk your feet forwards into a forward fold, nice and slow again. Always moving with intention. Good. And when you're ready, you're going to make your way into a seated or and when you're ready, you're going to come down and lie on your mat. In any position that's comfortable for you. I like to finish my practice with my knees coming out to the side, feet together. So I think in this day and age, it's really easy to be on the go all the time. Everything's moving at a fast pace. And I think the hardest part is being still, switching off, not worrying about what you have to eat later, what work you have to do, what's happening at work, what's happening at school. Sometimes it's hard to just be. So I want you to acknowledge those thoughts. I want you to see them just passing by. Slowly bring your knees towards each other if you need to. Bring your right knee into your chest, your left knee into your chest. Give yourself a hug. and come into a seated position however you want. And we're just going to do one big inhale and exhale before we finish off the class. So you're going to inhale, lift. And you're going to exhale loudly out through the mouth. Thank you for joining me for this quick 30-minute flow. I'll see you guys next time.